Hi, welcome to J&A, aka Jam, Voices for Change. These are my opinions and my views only, and I am protected under my First Amendment freedom of speech. Uh, we're welcoming back Jose Cardenas, and we're going to go a little bit off a topic, and we want to find out what he's doing and his fight for change in a different realm, in a different area, but also he's standing up for change. Welcome.
How we doing, guys? How you doing, Anthony? Yes, I'm here in a different phase of my life after being a bus driver for almost 15 years in two different companies. Now what I'm doing exactly is the same thing as Anthony and Joey and Jam, the Jam family is
Marcus.
doing. So Marcus, yeah, but my aspect is completely different. I am working on something that is, I think, that is very close to my heart, and of course, it caused a lot of hectic. It caused a lot of damage to a lot of families. And what I'm doing is, I'm trying to help individuals just like me in protecting themselves against a company that is ripping off the non-custodian parent. Now, by saying that word, you already figured that out. I'm talking about the Department of Child Support Agency. Now, that particular department is not a state agency or a federal agency in which a lot of people have the belief. Now, one of the main things that I'm trying to do is that everyone who is a parent has a moral support to give to their children, to their offspring. There's no way around it. And with that moral support, you is not required to have a company who actually is not helping for that purpose. And the only thing it's doing is something else, in which later on we're going to discuss and talk about. And I never advocate not to give your moral support to your children. With moral support comes everything: emotional, spiritual, monetary, every single thing. It comes support to your child. And what I do is actually a way to defend yourself against a company that is ripping off parents, especially non-custodian parents.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of work. Uh,
It is.
yeah, it does definitely sound like a lot of work of what you're doing, and we appreciate because I learn a lot from you, even though I don't have any new offspring to be able to defend for child support, but I know I had my fair share. Uh, the problem is with child support is they take your license, they take your passport, you can't travel. There's a lot of things that supposedly they're helping the parent.
Supposedly to help the parent, but which parent? One of the main things that I learned is from family, from my own personal family and my ex family, is that there are individuals who are very responsible with their children. My family always told me that the first thing that comes in life is our offspring. Now, that is a fact. But if you use that same information in a negative way, you're going to find out that a lot of folks misquoting or misunderstand what actually child support is. And when that happens, is that we're going to have a lot of conflict between parents. In my case, the process is difficult because I have a personal confliction of what is moral responsibility and what is actually monetary responsibility. And I had a lot of conflict with it, and I worked with it for a long, long time period of time. And actually, I believe that this agency, called themselves Child Support Agency, was doing their job for us. But later on, I understood that it wasn't. The only thing it does is enslave us to work 24/7, to keep working as much as we can to give back to the government the money they have given to your offspring. Now, there's a lot of folks out there that believe that that is fair, but actually it's not. And the reason I'm saying it's not is because those grants that they're receiving from the Social Security Department like WIC, Medicare, Medicare, welfare stamps, we, the taxpayers, we already pay for that. So if that is already done, why are they trying to catch or to destroy or to victimize the non-custodian parent by giving them a debt that doesn't belong to them, especially where there's no contract involved? It's very difficult for you or me to give or to get a responsibility when there's no contract in between. The only contract that does exist between us as human beings and the one upstairs and our conscience is the contract that we have. It's a universal contract that we have with our children. So why a company that is a private company dictating us, dictating how much we have to give monthly? That's the reason I started working, getting information, how this company called Child Support Agency is working against what they always say to protect the children. It's only a gimmick. Now, in my channel, I have this exposed, like Anthony have done, exposed corruption. I'm exposing corruption and how the law is being misquoted and misused against the non-custodian parent. It's the same thing what Anthony is doing. He's exposing something that is damaging not only the individual himself, his body, by receiving injuries because the equipment he's using is not being fixed. And of course, the side effect, the victimized people who are waiting for this bus that never arrived. That's what they call it, a side effect that is affecting everyone. So that's why I'm doing this and this aspect in what they call Child Support Agency. And one of the main factors is that I always being asked if I want a case. Actually, I have won one case, and just with a single letter. You want more information how I do it? Just go to my TikTok. It's arroba.
His TikTok is the @ Jose Cardenas 3424, and you can get more information on his TikTok. He has a lot of great information on TikTok, and he is standing up and going to all the court process and federal court. So it's not on he's going to a higher level. And my hat goes off to you. Let me get my hat. Let me get my hat. My hat.
And my hat goes to you.
For all the good work that you're doing and standing up and giving information to people so they understand that what the Child Support Agency is doing.
That's one of the major things that is happening right now. There's a lot of information out there on the website. You can go with search, and you're gonna find out that every time you put child support, it always says that it's a state agency or a government agency, and that is not true. Now, like I mentioned in my videos, please look that up. Look up also A&J videos, and you're gonna find out that there's some information that nobody knows about it. And for all those lawyers who are looking at this, all those people who are in family law or believe that I'm wrong or believe that I'm doing something against something or whatever, I challenge you. Go ahead and put me on TikTok. Go ahead, tag me, and we'll see. We'll talk about this thing and we can go forward and see in what way that I'm lying to you. But before you do anything and follow me, please follow the information. That's the main factor on my TikToks. Follow the information. Look for it. Research it before you make any decision. So child support is a very, what they call it, very sensitive subject, and I do understand.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. How did you start finding out information how to defend yourself when it comes to this agency? The whole thing started just by asking questions. Mm-hmm. I started in about 4 years ago. I sent a letter to child support. The questions were very simple. I wanted to know what they have in my file. I wanted to know what they have in my file.
Every one of us has a file in child support agency if you have a case open. So I requested information. When I got that information or whatever was left on that information, because I didn't receive only 3 letters from that file, I noticed that there were missing a few things. For example, contracts. What is a contract? It's actually a one or two or three individuals making a acceptance of certain procedure, rules, protocols, and consequences if we don't follow that. It's simple, a contract. I didn't find no contract, so I sent another letter. That's what the whole thing started, just by sending letters, asking questions. When I noticed that I wasn't receiving any questions, I started digging. That means I start looking at YouTube. I start looking for other source of information. As you know, if you go to the media, regular media, as Anthony already figured that out, the media, for example, the newspapers, the TV news, that will not help. So I have to go to other sources, meaning that I have to look other individuals who went to the same process as I am going and read their experience. And that's how the whole thing opened up in my case. And I believe Anthony can assure this that the media will not help.
Oh, no. They say we're fake news. They're fake.
There you go.
Yeah, they're fake news. You know why? Because 80,000 a year, 80,000 a year, and it's on the board reports. When you pay 80,000 a year, you don't want to cut or hit the hand that feeds you.
Exactly. Do you want to know how much child support agency, the Department of Child Support Agency, quote unquote, made? They made exactly 20 in the year 2022. They made $27.4 billion on behalf of families. And I said, they say by behalf, but I haven't seen anything. Have you seen it?
Oh,
Did they open more grants to help family needs? I haven't seen nothing. But they made $27.4 billion, and that's only in 2022. Now, what did I get that information? I got it from the Congressional Research Services. Got the thing right here.
and
Now,
27 billion.
$27 billion. Oh my goodness.
But they're supposed to be helping the parents.
Supposedly, well, they say that the money they receive, they give it back to the state so they can reinstate the program. For example, Medicare, Medicare. Let me see. Let me read a little bit. It says here, families who are required to enroll in the CSE, in other words, Child Support Enforcement Program, are those receiving cash assistance under the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. That's TANF. Okay, Medicaid coverage, or at the state opinion, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, right? Food assistance. The program is also available for non-assistant families and they choose to enroll. Now, one of the main subjects about this, there is that money, those $27 billion is given back to the state. How is a company, private company, what is their earnings? And the only way I can figure out the earnings is because that $27 billion, there's a budget that is given to these private contractors to work in this company. Now, to work in that company, you have to be a judicial and federal employee. That means a judge, an attorney, or family law facilitators, like they call themselves, or administrators, commissioners, temporary reps. All those people, they get paid. Besides other individuals who work to identify the non-custodial parent. How do they get paid? By us. I'm getting, I'm paid you to look for me.